lie there in that old curiosity shop.
Well, good morning, everyone. I'm Scott from the Old Curiosity Shop. And if it looks kind of mysterious and if you hear any weird sounds out of the ordinary, I'm actually parked under a highway bridge. I'm down here in South Philadelphia, and I'm on my way to an estate sale. Now, today is the second day. I didn't know about it yesterday. I couldn't have gone anyway. And so it's Saturday morning. The row house is just a few blocks behind me, and I'm parked here. I am 30 minutes early, but I drove by the house and there wasn't anybody standing outside, and there's no action there yet. So as soon as I tune this off, I'm going to grab the camera. We're going to go back to the old house and see what's what. Second day, who knows? Sometimes you can film inside and sometimes you can't. I like to ask first to be respectful. We'll see what happens. But while you're waiting for me to head over to the estate sale, I want to tell you about a video that's coming up on Sunday night on Patrick's channel, the Trusty Huckster Mercantile. Put his link in the description box below. Many of you already watch him, and you know that he was traveling on business. He stopped several places, including Philadelphia. We had a great time and did a lot of antiquing. And we also have a shared enjoyment of touring historic homes. And so we had the chance on Monday morning to tour one of the DuPont mansions down in Wilmington. Now, you're familiar probably with the Winterthur, which is most famous because of its museum status and so forth. A lesser-known estate is called the Nemours mansion, and I believe, was it Alfred DuPont? You're going to have to look it up. I'm using my memory here. We went and we toured the house. I'd been there once before many years ago, but it was fun to go back and see it. Patrick did a wonderful job filming. We got permission. They said you can put it on YouTube. They had no problem. And his commentary is excellent. I'm just sort of standing around going, at all the wonderful lampshades. The video will be a premiere, which means Patrick and I are going to be live in the chat. You can ask us some questions and hopefully enjoy the video. That's tomorrow night, Eastern Standard Time at 8 p.m. At least I think Eastern Standard. Let me get back to you on that. You won't get a notification if you are a subscriber to me, but not Patrick. So to see the video as a premiere, as it's playing at 8 o'clock on Sunday night, you'll have to go over to Patrick's channel and you can watch it. And I hope some of you will come on over and watch it. The, let's see, it's I think a 70-room estate, the largest formal French gardens here in the United States. The house, I believe, was built around 1911. And Mr. DuPont lived in it until he died in the 1940s. His first wife died, he remarried. His second wife lived in that house until 1970 or 71. Nothing in it really had changed much. And it was always Mr. DuPont's wish that the house would be opened up for the public. So Mrs. DuPont died in 70 or 71, and a few years later the house opened to the general public. And it's what I like about that kind of an estate is, you know, we've all been to these places where, sadly, we say, well, the only thing original to the family is this fork at the end of the table, but everything else is stuff that we kind of think might have been here, but didn't really belong to the family. This place is authentic down to the dust on the upholstery. Nothing in that home is an interpretation of what might have been in it. It's the real thing, and it's wonderful, and it's charming. So I hope you'll tune in to that and enjoy as we walk through that wonderful estate just south of Philadelphia, down in Wilmington, less than an hour from the city of Philadelphia. Okay, so now let's go to this estate sale and see what's what. I've got my iced coffee. It's going to heat up this weekend. Is it hot where you are? Well, there's the old house. You can obviously see that at one point it was converted to some type of a storefront, which is typical. You can see down below the old houses still retain their original domestic fronts. So who knows what happened in here when this was converted to a commercial space. Probably the folks lived up above and there was some type of a store down below. So again, I'm a little bit early and we're just gonna wait and see, knock on the door and see if I can get in. As I said, it's day 2, so I'm not sure what I'll find, but I do see a sticker that says 25% off today, so I'm excited about that. Anyway, I'm on Front Street, which is why there's a lot of noise. Front Street is the main street just before you get down to the Delaware River, and that's the reason why you're hearing all that noise. Okay, when I come back, hopefully there'll be treasures. There's another view of the property, right in the center. We'll listen to the birds and the traffic. Because also, Interstate 95 is just, half a block from us. And so you do get traffic noise from the highway, and that's what you hear. Hello, little robin redbreast. Oh, you've got to see this little robin. He has got, can you see him? I guess it's she. She's late building her nest. Aren't you supposed to have your babies by now? She's found something to make oh, she's got a friend. You can't really see. She's carting off some type of piece of netting. She's fighting with it. I think she may be going to make a nest out of it. But I thought they had their young by now. Maybe she delayed, making whoopee because of COVID. So she and her significant other got a late start. That's okay, I understand, sweetie. You build that nest. There she goes. Where is she gonna take it? No, you can't see. Oh, she's coming this way. I think that's a robin redbreast. There she is. Try not to scare her. I can't imagine what she wants with that other than to build a nest. She's not going to eat it. Maybe she's going to make a hairpiece out of it. Oh, there she goes, there she goes, there she goes! Oh! Fly, little bird. Well, I can film a little bit, and it really is an amazing house, and there's so much to be seen. Unfortunately, I don't have a lot of time left on this battery, so I'll film as much as I can. I think what I'd really like you to see is the actual house, and not so much the individual items. I've come up to the second floor. There we go. Look at the floors. Oh my goodness. Of course, there's more upstairs. Amazing, really. Look at this wonderful bent wood rocker. There's this mahogany back here. Of course, I know a lot of people are into the mid-century, mostly. And those are quite amazing. $3,500 for the set. Yep. Beautiful bookcase. Here's a very sunny bedroom on the front of the house. A beautiful East Lake bed. In walnut. And the dresser over there. And the vanity. It looks like it's a complete matching set. Great find. So, prices are still a little high for me. I did find a wonderful old firkin here. It is missing its lid, but it's really beautiful. I'll show it to you later in better detail. It's $32 and 25% off, in good condition, just no lid, but there's lots of possibilities. Wonderful bookcase. Oh, I can see the sign says display cabinet reclaimed from apothecary, now in the living room. So that is a hint that this might have been a drugstore or pharmacy when it was originally converted to a storefront. That might have been the original commercial use. Wow. $150 for the little nightstand there. It looks like what do you call that? Tiger maple. We're up on the 3rd floor here. Look out the window there. You really don't see high rises because we're facing south now. Very cozy indeed. There is a large bell, and that chain goes through the floors all the way down to the very first floor. Isn't that wonderful? Here is a step, and of course it says do not enter. So I'm going to assume that that is the staircase, which probably goes up to the 4th floor attic. I keep having to readjust the light. Beautiful bedroom. Big executive desk there. Sometimes big is not always good because someone has to lug this down several floors. There's some interesting, now these may be old Leyden jars, batteries of some sort. I have to take a closer look at these. early batteries like this, if I remember correctly. What does this say? These glass containers were found in the basement and perhaps are primitive battery of some sort. Yep, they've got that right. I think they called them Leyden jars. I have to bone up on that. But they would be filled with acid. Oh, I'm going to take a look at those. Pretty oak piece. There I am with my firkin. We can see the street, and over the trees is the Delaware River. Pretty oak bed. Dresser set. All right, there's more to be seen. Let me have a closer look at these jars. Let's see what this one says. The Cleveland Metal Products Company, patent applied for. I gotta take a closer look at these. Be right back. Now off of the kitchen is this amazing, I guess I would have to call it a sunroom. What else would you call it? Solarium. The sunlight is above, and my goodness. But what I want you to see, and it's not for sale, is this amazing slatback glider. Just look at this. It's all wood and it glides. Wow. Okay, so this thing is called the Boyer's Gliding Settee. And sadly, it's not for sale. I wouldn't be able to afford it anyway. It is absolutely amazing. It probably dates to right around the turn of the century, or just a little bit after. It's adjustable back here the way a Morris chair is, if you're familiar. You can see how it would work. But it's all original. And so it has an iron base and these delicate slats. It's never been refinished. They may have, pretty certain that that green paint has been touched up. You'd expect that to be worn off. But this is completely, it reminds me of the old beach chairs. And if we can get down here, you can see the maker's name. See that? Boyer's Gliding Settee, made by the something manufacturing company. I can't see the rest. Patent, looks like 1904. And maybe some other patents pending. That's a real gem. Let me back up and then refocus. I really want you to see it. Oop, don't trip. When are you ever going to see something like that again? Gosh. All right, now back here in the shed, listen to me. There are some antique lighting fixtures and whatnot. I don't know what that beep was. Let's see, have I lost my focus? I guess we're okay. This looks like, oh my goodness, there's a piece to an old gas fixture. A gasolier, a piece to one. Could be original to the house when it was lit by gas. Here's a big pan fixture. We'll have to look and see if the hanging sockets are still with it. Oh, that would have had a globe light. Let's see if we can find the rest of it. It looks like the globe might be down in there. All right, I'll look at that when I turn the camera off. Here's some wonderful old tins. These are $8, no doubt. No, NB, is that Nabisco? NBC trademark? I don't know what that is. But it is amazing. Here's a deco bedroom lamp. Hangs over the bed. Wow. Oh, there's a garage door opener, so we're actually in what would be the garage on the back of the house, an addition at some point. Oh my word, what a wonderful experience to explore that house. Now, I didn't get quite as much footage as I would have liked to because my phone was dying, but at least you got a peek. I found out the house was built in 1817, and indeed at one point it was an apothecary. We could tell that from the storefront. But also, once you got on the inside, there were many old, huge cabinet pieces all around the place from the apothecary days. One of the things that I like to do when I go to estate sales is not only to buy things to sell, but I always buy one thing to keep. And it could be a very expensive piece that's decorative that I fall in love with, or it could be something very inexpensive just to sort of capture the essence of the place. And believe it or not, when I see these things in my own home, I do remember the estate sales and sometimes the conversations that you have with folks that you meet. And there were some lovely people there, although I didn't really film any other humans other than myself. And so I'd like to show you first the piece that I'm going to keep. This really honors the spirit of the apothecary, and who knows, this might have been hanging around in the basement from drugstore days. I know in England, I believe you call them chemists. Here in the US, we refer to them as drugstores. I still say, I gotta go to the drugstore, because we didn't have a CVS or a Walgreens in the town where I grew up, and my parents still say the drugstore, and so do I. But here is Sloan's Liniment. What a wonderful old bottle with the contents. I'm going to be very careful of that. And you may think that he looks very much like a 19th century, 19th century, but the date on this that you're supposed to use this up by is actually 1932. The date is on the side there somewhere. I'm not sure if you can see it in this car. But so this, I don't know how long the shelf life was for Sloan's Liniment. The bottle may have come out in the 1920s or very early 30s, but you had to use it up by 1932. And so I'm going to keep this. I do remember hearing commercials on old radio shows for Sloan's Liniment. So it's been around for a while. Did your granny ever tell you about Sloan's Liniment? My grandmother used to talk about Lydia Pinkham's. I think I told you this. Did I ever tell you the story about my grandmother and Lydia Pinkham's? If I didn't, I'm going to tell you, but I'm not going to tell you now. You'll have to just wait for that. Okay, so that piece is to keep. Then I bought 3 pieces to sell. I spent a total of $80. Things were expensive in that sale. even with 20% off. But I spent $80. This, of course, I'm keeping. The other 3 items that I have are going to be for sale. I don't think I'm going to make a bucket load of money, but there's some profit in what I have. Look at this tiny little shaker here, made of tin, and we can tell by the way it's soldered and the seam here and just the construction of it that this is old, this is antique, and this may be turn of the century or before. In fact, I believe it to be before. Who knows if it's original to the house or not? It's very possible. You know, when a home has been lived in since 1817, you're going to find old things like this hiding in the back of kitchen cabinets.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
So the little tin lid comes off. It's obviously a little shaker of some sort. No question this is not a reproduction. And what's the value of it? I don't know, but to someone who collects 19th century kitchen pieces, this is fantastic. I would guess this to be made somewhere in the latter part of the 1800s, but I'm not an expert. I have learned a little bit about the way pieces were pieced together in those days and soldered. What do you think? That's really sweet for a primitive kitchen. And what am I going to do with it? Let's put it right there. And I'll show you the most exciting thing at the very end. But here is a wonderful firkin. No lid. These had lids. This one is gone. Okay, so there's no lid. I'm not terribly upset about that. Here's a wonderful bent wood handle, which is probably, appears to be oak or ash. And then I think we're looking at, it's kind of hard for me to tell what kind of wood this is, pine or some kind of a fruit wood. It has a really nice look to it. This, again, is probably going to be late 19th century, mid to late 19th century. We can see the construction. It's beautifully done. You saw me when I bought one of these, the last time I went to an estate sale. I got one with the lid, and that one I have kept for myself, the one with the lid, and it actually has the maker's name and carved on the top, so I can actually date it. This one, no lid. We don't know who made it. It's just a wonderful decorative piece. You can do all kinds of things with something like this. Put it in the guest room and put rolled up towels in here in the bathroom. Use it by your fireplace with pine cones and kindling. Put it in the kitchen and put utensils in it. There's a lot you can do with it on the decorative market. So that's for sale. Now, I ventured into an area that I know very little about. I know almost nothing about granite ware, but I knew this was a lunch pail. I knew that it was 100% complete, and I just had to have it. It's a beautiful blue lunch pail in sort of a mottled look to the granite. It's wonderful metal handle, which is applied here, attached rather, and even on the lid we have the original, the steering wheel's in the way, but I can't move it. The lid even has the original wooden knob on the top. Look at this. See that? So it's all original and in really good shape for granite ware. A little bit of loss up there where we would expect. Here's the pail. Okay. Granite ware lunch pails like this let your imagination run wild. This, I get sort of that Little House on the Prairie feel from this. Who carried this to and from lunch, to and from school, to and from the factory, to and from picnics along the Delaware River? Who knows? But it's a wonderful piece, and someone who collects granite ware or wonderful old mid-19th century pieces, I think will fall in love with this. It's great to have that original knob or handle right on the top. I think that helps quite a bit. And the handle, of course, and it's in good shape. Okay, that was it. 80 bucks for those 4 pieces. What do I expect to get for the ones that I'm going to sell? I don't really know. I had a great time shopping today, and I got to tour a beautiful old Philadelphia 1817 house. So thank you for coming along with me. It is now 10 o'clock in the morning, and I've got a full day ahead, so I've got to hit the pike and go see what else I can get into. I'm Scott from the Old Curiosity Shop, as always, saying thanks for watching, and so long for now.